We're going to go ahead and call the, what date is it? April 8th, 2025 work session to order. The members have an agenda before them. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Excellent. Remember, there's only two of you, so if you don't cooperate, we're going to go home real fast here. A motion by Mrs. Hoyes, a second by Mr. Usherwood. All in favor? Unanimous. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're going to go ahead and say the pledge, so if you can rise with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll pause for a moment of silent reflection. All right, good afternoon, everybody. First up on our agenda is Class A graduates recognition with Mr. Joey Perkle. Back. We're going down there.
I said it's been quite a while since I've been.
Can I make a quick request, Joey?
Sure.
We've got two new board members with us, so before we jump down there, could you share just a little bit about Class A? I mean, I could go into it, but I know you'd be much more brief than I am.
I'd love to share a little bit about Class A.
Please do, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that Dr. Lowe shared with you some things about Class A leadership and all the other leadership development programs, but probably about 7 years ago, when I was deputy superintendent, I found myself having multiple conversations with principals about how that they really would like for their folks in their building, different folks in their building, to have some leadership training, like their head custodians, their food and nutrition managers, directors in different departments. We started with those, and it really went on and extended to folks at the district office level, those folks who were working with as a principal secretary. So in transportation, we've always had transportation employees who were lead supervisors. So with that, then I said, well, we really need to develop a leadership program to really help develop these folks, because having been a former principal, I certainly understood what they were saying. That if I'm having to spend all my time with my food and nutrition manager or my head custodian or my whoever in my building to really help them in being able to lead their teams, then that became somewhat of a burden for me as a principal. So we partnered with the Georgia Leadership Institute, and I also then formed a task force from the district to really determine, okay, what are the things that these people need? And so, long story short, we developed the Class A leadership, and this is our 6th cohort that has graduated from the Class A Leadership Development Program. I can't remember, maybe Dr. Lowe did tell you all this, but the Class A Leadership Program was recognized at the National Leadership Conference in Nashville. Was it right after I retired, or the year?
Yeah.
You were in transition.
It was my first year up here, yeah.
So we went to Nashville to talk to superintendents from all over the area and the nation about what Class A means. And I had a lot of people from a lot of places to call and say, hey, we would like to really develop this kind of program. So anyway, obviously, I'm partial to it, as you can tell, and I'm very passionate about it. I do wish that, because I know that we're going to recognize the folks that are here that graduated from Cohort 6, and I'll have them to come up in just a second, but I do wish, and I do wish that you could have heard their testimonies at their graduation ceremony. I'll make sure that you're invited to that. That was really my fault, and I apologize for that. But so that you can hear them. I mean, telling you, just to hear them talk about what this program has meant to them. And, you know, we start the program out by talking to them about that they're not a JUSTA. We have no JUSTAs in Forsyth County School District. You know, I had a secretary years ago, I could hear her on the phone, and she would say, I'm just the secretary. No, we're no JUSTAs. These folks are not JUSTAs. They're very important leaders in our school district, and they hold very important positions, and they make a lot of things happen. And so anyway, Do you want me to stop now? Probably.
No, I was just going to say, you know, we said it at the beginning. I wasn't there at the end to talk about it again. I'm sure you reinforced it all the way through, but what are you guys in the business of doing? Helping,
Yep, there you go. All right, so if you were a graduate of cohort 6, I'll ask you if you'll just line up, and when I call your name, if you'll come forward, and the board members will want to recognize you and shake your hand, so. And forgive me because I'm not sure who's here, who's not, so I'm just going to run through all the names. We had 28 folks to graduate from this cohort. Typically, we've always had in all 6 cohorts 28 to 30 every year to graduate. So anyway, okay, Mildred Nunez, is Mildred here? Okay, Adriana Zavila Tenorio, is that you? Yep, come on. Yep, come on down. Yep, just go. Oh, no, you go right ahead. Sorry, I'm going too fast. Adriana, you can come on. Patrick Johnson. Jeffrey Mulligan. Amanda Hembry. Sunita Karabogovic. Yeah, thank you. Gloria Martinez de Barrera. Nicole Smith. Mindy Jones. Lori Dodd. Isabel, oh, you're welcome. Isabel Ledezima. Lisa Lopez. Robin Gravett. Yvonne Ospina. Alicia Hester. Rusty Vanderford. Jan Seltz. Tammy Roddings. Deborah Fisher. Jiyoung Breitz. Garcia Gracilia. I always miss that. I'm so sorry. Ansley Acuff. Carrie Isaac. Todd Wentz. John Hazelwood. Jeff Plinky. Yeah, thank you. Karen Heyman. And Stephen Clack, I don't think is here. So these are our graduates for Class A leadership for cohort 6. Yeah.
And then Joey, the ones that aren't here, we'll just Photoshop in somehow.
Sure.
Just be stick figures. Y'all will come all the way across to where Mr. Purple is standing and line up for a photo.
Yeah, we'll come back here. That's a good idea. I'm too short to get over there. I'll get lost.
Okay, a little tighter, just like you've been doing together all year. There you go.
Should we go in front of the chairs?
Be right here on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then parents, families, you guys want to?
And while we're on it, how about our fearless leader, Joey Perkle? All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. See ya. Thank you, Joey.
All right, Mr. Work, let's get this show on the road. Not you. All right, next up on the agenda is presentation and discussion items. The first couple of items are a review of policy EE and EEA, and I'll ask Mr. Todd McClellan to come up and give us the rundown.
Good evening, members of the board and Superintendent Young. On the policy in front of you, it talks about the sale of food, non-program foods in the middle of the school day. There are some regulations, most in our industry, it's called smart snack regulations, that basically talk about what it is in schools. And that means in school stores and vending machines that can be sold during the course of the school day. The school, and just so you know, the course of the school day means from midnight, because schools start at different times throughout, the state of Georgia and the United States, all the way until 30 minutes after the bell. So once we get to 30 minutes after the bell, and we're talking about snack bars at basketball games or football things, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the sale of foods during basically the school day. So in the policy.
This is the first policy that didn't have any recommended changes.
Okay, so, all right, thank you, Susie, for making life easier for me. So this is policy as it currently stands. It's in line with federal regulations, so I don't recommend any changes at this time.
Let's see, X that one. And double click that bottom one. That's the one that had the changes.
Okay. There are some proposed changes in the policy that's currently up before you. Basically, it's just some language changes. First, I would bring your attention to the word needy. Feels like that word should not be in there for needy children. The children who get free and reduced meals in the school system, they are children who qualify based on federal regulations. So try to tighten that language up a little bit more. And it says the Board of Education will provide free and reduced price meals. So the Food and Nutrition Department actually does that, but we do it under the umbrella of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And the Georgia Department of Education is kind of the regulatory agency that's our most immediate. They supervise, they implement, interpret things for the Department of Agriculture. So basically, as you can see there, that it's just cleaning up some language and just talks about how we basically follow federal guidelines.
And so even though it flows through the state, they're having to follow federal guidelines, which is why you got rid of the word state in there, because everybody's following federal.
Correct, yeah. They're basically the agency, the Georgia Department of Education is the agency that kind of is our immediate supervisors, but they follow USDA regulations. And there is we are not a part of the U.S. Department of Education, we're part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, our program. Okay? Any questions on this policy or the proposed changes?
And so then we'll have that put out there for the next 30 days or until next month. And then if there's any feedback, we'll bring that to you on that and go from there.
All right. So we'll see this back on our agenda in about 30 days or so for adoption and with feedback from the public. Thank you, Mr. McClellan.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next on the agenda is future agenda items. I have one that I would like to add, which is for the upcoming work session a week from today, and that's board consideration on a resolution regarding growth and specifically high-density growth in the county and city of Cumming. Between now and then, we'll have a resolution developed for consideration.
Second.
All right. You guys have any other items you'd like to add? Mr. McCall, Mr. Grimes, no? All right, Mr.
Not
Dr. Young.
not an item, but as I look in the back and see Sarah Von Esch and Todd and Steve, obviously, you guys are aware that we had a family tragedy in our community, and there's no words, there's nothing we can say to comfort that family and what they're going through and still going through right now. But whenever we have a tragedy like that, it impacts the family, but the ripple effect, is great across the schools for the teachers that were involved with those children and that family, counselors and so forth. I just want to give a shout out. I know it's them doing their job, but our folks do their job so well. But Sarah Von Esch, Kristen Keith, all of them are part of Todd Shirley, his leadership, and they've just done that. I continue to get unsolicited phone calls from principals and counselors thanking me for the job that Sarah and her team have done with this crisis response. And I know there's more work to do, but I just want to say publicly, Sarah, great job.
Yeah, and I'll say I actually received a phone call from two different folks who their children are classmates with some of these kids, and they were just over, bragging and so grateful for the support they received at the school level and the counselors and everybody that wrapped around them. So thank you guys, we appreciate it. And we'll be praying for the family, and obviously there's nothing that we can say to correct this, but we'll have them in our prayers.
Thank you.
All right, well, this is a record short agenda, so next is executive session. Do I have a motion to enter executive session?
I make a motion to enter executive
Okay.
session
Oh, excellent.
for personnel.
Yeah, for personnel, correct. Excellent catch, Dr. Young. Motion by Mr. Usherwood, a second by Mrs. Hoyes. All in favor? Whew, that was close. Unanimous. Thank you, guys. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.